What if you could look at a price chart, any chart, and spot a warning sign that the price might be about to fall? Not a lucky guess, a pattern. One that traders have watched for over 100 years. It's called the double top. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to teach it to you so clearly that you will never unsee it. No experience needed. We start from zero. First, the absolute basics. A price chart is just a picture of one thing. What people were willing to pay for something over time. Time runs left to right. Price runs from the bottom to the top. When more people want to buy, the price rises. When more people want to sell, it falls. That tug of war, buyers against sellers, is the only thing moving the chart. Hold on to that idea because our entire pattern is just a story about who's winning that fight. Now sometimes price rises until it hits a level where it simply stops. It pushes up, gets rejected, and drops back down. That invisible ceiling has a name, resistance. Picture a glass ceiling in a room. Price keeps floating up, bumping its head on that ceiling, and it just can't break through. Here's where our pattern begins. Price climbs up and hits that ceiling, let's say at $100. It can't get through, so it falls back down. That is our first top. Then the buyers regroup and they try again. Price climbs all the way back up to that very same ceiling, $100, and once again it fails. It gets rejected and it falls. That is our second top. Two peaks side by side at almost exactly the same price. On the chart, it looks like the letter M. That shape is the double top. But the shape is not the real lesson. The real lesson is the story behind it. Ask yourself, why does price fail at the same spot twice? Because that ceiling is where the sellers are waiting. The first time, buyers charged the ceiling and got beaten back. The second time, they came back and tried again with everything they had, and they still couldn't break through. Now think about how those buyers feel, exhausted, out of ammunition. They gave it their best shot twice, and the ceiling held both times. And when the buyers run out of energy, who takes control? The sellers. That shift from buyers in charge to sellers in charge is what the double top is really showing you. It's a picture of momentum changing hands. Now look between the two peaks. There's a dip, a low point, where price bounced back up after the first top. We draw a straight line across at that low and we give it a special name, the neckline. The neckline is the floor of the pattern. And this is the single most important rule in the whole lesson, so really hear it. Two peaks alone do not make a double top. Not yet. The pattern only becomes real when price falls and breaks below that neckline. Until then, it's just two bumps on a chart. The neckline is the trap door, and the pattern is only confirmed the moment price falls through it. This is exactly where beginners make their biggest mistake. They see two peaks, they get excited, and they jump in early. Don't. A patient trader waits for confirmation, for price to actually close below the neckline. Before the break, it's only a maybe. After the break, it's a setup. The break is your green light. And once that neckline breaks, the pattern gives you something beautiful, a target. An estimate of how far price might fall. And the math could not be simpler. You measure the height of the pattern from the top at $100 down to the neckline at $80. That's a height of $20. Then you take that same $20 and you project it straight down from the neckline. 80 minus 20 gives you a target of $60. That's called the measured move. The idea is simple. The energy it took to build that pattern often gets released in a fall of about the same size. Now the honest part, the part that separates real traders from gamblers, this is not a crystal ball. The double top does not work every single time. Nothing in trading does. What it gives you is an edge, a tilt in the odds in your favor. Sometimes price breaks the neckline and falls all the way to target. Sometimes it falls halfway and stops. And sometimes it fails completely and shoots right back up. And that is okay. Trading was never about being right every time. It's about taking setups where the odds are on your side over and over and protecting yourself when you're wrong. So how do you protect yourself? Simple. If you're betting that price will fall, the point where you admit you're wrong sits just above that second top. If price climbs back above the peaks, the pattern has failed, and a smart trader steps aside. Small loss, lesson learned, on to the next one. And that, right there, is the trader's mindset. You don't predict, you prepare. You spot the pattern, you wait for the neckline to break, you measure your target, and you know exactly where you're wrong before you ever risk a single dollar. Let's recap. Two peaks at the same level, resistance holding twice, a neckline across the low between them, a confirmed break below that neckline, a target equal to the height of the pattern. And through all of it, you think in probabilities, never certainties. That's the double top, one of the very first patterns every trader learns. And now you don't just know what it looks like, you understand why it works and how to think about it. So go find one. Because once you spot your first double top in the wild, I promise you, you'll never unsee it. I'll see you in the next lesson.